Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now November 24th of 2025, and given that the media and Hollywood are still dealing with tons of backlash from the public and for valid reasons out there, they just keep digging themselves into a deeper hole. And most recently, this has a lot to do with what exactly Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton did on X/Twitter by disabling Epstein-related comments and also blocking users, bringing up Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, it's really out of control to the point that you have members of The View, Sunny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, and Joy Behar getting very emotional over the response and how they're beginning to play the blame game and are beginning to actually go into full-on damage control, really trying to defend both Bill and Hillary in the worst way possible. Let's get into this. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, it hasn't been a good year for the media, especially for Hollywood, but focusing on the media in isolation, they've definitely been acting very erratic, very aggressive, very defensive. Ever since Trump, won the election, got back into office in, of course, January, and after that you had the whole Charlie Kirk assassination. That also created a new wave of a lot of those coming out saying terrible, downright awful things about him, and also using that as a way to politicize Charlie Kirk's death and really turning it into a Trump issue. And then you had the No Kings protest, and now this. Now, we all know the whole Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton behavior on X is very suspicious. I brought this up many times. It is very odd behavior. The minute that the GOP actually asked them in for questioning over the Epstein files, over the whole Epstein case, the entire Epstein situation, hours after that, they both disabled their comments on X simultaneously. Now, look, I would say it was one thing maybe if Hillary disabled hers and Bill did not. That may have been something that wouldn't have been suspicious. This is very different, and this is absolutely something else. Now, focusing on Sunny, Joy, and Whoopi, they had some things to say. Now, with Hollywood and the media dealing with tons of backlash from the public over their forced politics and agenda, one major development that is now active involves more to do with the hosts of The View, Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, and Whoopi Goldberg, who recently got very emotional after both Bill and Hillary Clinton deleted and disabled comments on their X accounts the day they were called in by the GOP for questioning related to Epstein. First things first, Sunny Hostin had this to deliver to the public. This is a very dark time for America right now, and I wake up every morning literally in tears knowing that I have to come on the show to face our citizens who are so misled and fooled by this sitting president, where his supporters are now bullying both former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, who have been excellent role models for our country, and how MAGA is doing everything in their power to take things out of context about why Bill and Hillary disabled comments on X. It's truly so un-American to act this way. I feel like I could cry right now just thinking about the direction that we are heading in under MAGA and Trump, and how we may very well lose it all in 2026 and 28. Now, Joy Behar then delivered the following after Sunny. Shame on you, shame on all of you for putting both Bill and Hillary throughout such humiliation, spreading lies about what they did on social media. What they did on social media is their own business, and as a woman, I agree with Sunny. I am very, very emotional right now over the status of our country, and I find myself always getting choked up thinking about where we are right now in the United States. We are living under an administration whose supporters bully the former president and his wife on social media. And look, we all know that this is related to Epstein, right? MAGA is trying to tie their actions to Epstein. The MAGA group is nothing but an anchor in our society, dragging us down. Bill and Hillary have been very honest and truthful over their relation to Epstein, so I don't want to hear one bit of it. They have been trying to be cooperative with the GOP. Whoopi then actually chimed in and actually had her actual thing to say. I don't mean to make this a sob story, she says, but I genuinely am sad, and sometimes show up crying on set knowing that we have to always touch on Trump's terrible policies, and how MAGA, they are nothing but a bunch of bullies against both Bill and Hillary. Like, grow the hell up, you people. Can people not see that MAGA, like Joy and Sunny pointed out, takes everything out of context? As a woman, activist and feminist, I will say I am very offended over what MAGA is putting Hillary and her husband through. Now guys, let me stop right there for 1 second about what of course, Whoopi, Sunny, and Joy are saying here about Bill and Hillary. Now, they're obviously trying to deflect from the whole thing that's going on X and how people are continuously calling it out. And you know what? I think a lot of people deserve a lot of props for calling it out endlessly, because both Bill and Hillary, they aren't stopping. To this day, even right now, their comments are still disabled. Their replies are disabled. Everything is just blanked out. And there's been a lot of users reporting that whatever comments that did go through, a lot of them actually got blocked by both Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton's X accounts, and that really is something very strange behavior. Again, this is all beginning to happen just after the GOP pressured them to come in immediately for questioning over the whole Epstein situation, and obviously it's going to be quite something to see if whether or not they cooperate as ordered by the GOP. I think that's going to be very, very revealing in the coming days, so keep an eye out for that one. Things are about to go out of control, I feel, but one thing about the media, alright, and this involves Sunny, Whoopi, and Joy, is that they are part of the media. They are part of the problem because, well, they're obviously trying to just defend what's going on here and exactly how people calling it out are wrong or are just flat out bullies or that they're taking things out of context. I don't think anyone's taking anything out of context necessarily. Like I pointed out earlier in this video, it may have been one thing for sure if Hillary disabled hers and Bill did not. That may have been something not so suspicious. Let's be very real about that, because Hillary does do it on and off at times. It's another thing, trust me, when you have both Bill and Hillary disabling them simultaneously, and they did do this simultaneously, by the way, to the second, right after the GOP said what they had to say about bringing them in for the Epstein file/case, the whole situation, the whole story, right? To get really what's going on between their relation and Epstein, to get those facts straight. And they just closed it all down. Now, interestingly enough, Whoopi Goldberg closes by delivering the following. Big deal, MAGA, grow up already. They are just drowning out noise on their social media. That's all there is to it. As a society, we need to do better because social media has gone too far. It really has. So Whoopi's closing argument there is that it's just social media is going too far. And look, alright, we know that in certain angles, sure, social media may very well be going too far, but looking at this in isolation, this has nothing to do necessarily with social media. This is just people calling out suspicious behavior and something that really just happened that never happened before, where both of these accounts disabled comments, disabled replies, even reportedly blocked users related to Epstein comments, all simultaneously just after the GOP said what they had to say about Bill and Hillary and actually ordered them in for questioning, essentially. And that really is something that's leaving a lot of people scratching their heads right now, and how the media, how many actors, how many of those in Hollywood are acting very, very weird about this whole thing is also another very revealing fact. I think that there's a lot of damage control going on. I think that deep down they know that something is up, something is going on there, and again, we can't really claim anything per se. We can't say anything for sure, but there is definitely something very strange going on with Bill and Hillary doing what they did on X. But I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.